I traded my Audi S4 for the worst F1 car ever available on Marketplace. Last video we got it running and driving, now we have to make it nice. Number one thing, this thing needs brakes, but it also needs to look the part. We're gonna do a full custom livery based on my favorite 80s F1 livery, and it's gonna be awesome.
We also can't find reverse, so we're gonna have to push it back into the shop. Jaden, why don't you set the camera down and help me with this?
To have any chance of getting my fake F1 car on a real racetrack, we have a long list of things to fix. The wiring is a rat's nest, brake fluid is everywhere except the brake lines, and nearly every piece of the car is either cracked, broken, or held together by duct tape. Can we transform it into a track-ready beast? Stay tuned to find out.
Solid freaking work.
The first thing we gotta do is basically sand this entire thing to get this paint off so we can patch the fiberglass, and then we'll gel coat over that. We went ahead and built this frame out of 2x4s to keep this thing stable while we work on it.
I don't have to be bodywork, Gavin. This is great. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, huge shout out to Jaden for knocking this out. This is gonna be awesome. You guys gotta keep it a secret. This is the ultimate goal with this. Coming, not this video, maybe next video.
This is why we can't have anything nice, Dylan. The moment you get something, you're like, what's the one thing that's most likely to break this? And then that's what you do first. You don't even get to play with your toys first. You just go straight to, I own it, now I want to ruin it. But if it does work, you're a genius. So every 10 ideas, something works, and then you're a genius.
This one is gonna be one of those, I promise.
I found a Gav that I like less than bodywork Gav, and it's wiring harness Gav. He's already the saddest boy. There's just, every one of these are just kind of twist tied together and electrical tape, and all the electrical tape is disgusting and gunky and horrible.
So do these go to anything?
So my understanding is these go to nothing. This might be connected. It looks like it was either cut or it maybe just broke. It's
Those are
genuinely...
different.
Are they? Yeah, it's
One
so...
is fat orange, one is skinny orange.
There's a lot of stuff like this where you're like, I don't think that actually goes to anything. There's a lot of this where it's just like loose, like this has a splice from here to here. And just, there's a lot of old wires that are just kind of cracked in half. I'm gonna have to go through every single foot of this wiring and just make sure that there's no cracks, breaks, things like that. Because as soon as you put those tracks on this thing, any loose wiring is becoming very loose wiring or broken wiring, and then this is going to be stuck someplace. So I really want to avoid that.
So my project is to get these CV axles out.
Both sides have broken boots, so we're gonna take these to the repair shop and get them fixed.
This previous wiring harness, if that's what you wanted to call whatever this was in shambles. Every wire changed gauge like every 4 feet, or like not 4 feet, like 4 inches, and everything was the wrong size and like folded 100 times, so there's all these creases and kinks and cuts. This thing should be miles more reliable, and I mean, that's Rad Factory reliable. Basically have almost all of it from the ECU back, like dialed and where I want it. Just got to throw some more wire loom on things and just kind of get it zip tied. And then I'm going to track all the wires to our gauge cluster, see what is and isn't working there. And then the wiring's done, and we can cross that bad boy off.
Bodywork Dylan had a rough day of it. After Jaden went home, I had to take over.
It's amazing that all the wiring doesn't work. It's just like loosely tied together, no solder, no crimping, just a disaster. That's what wiring Gavin's been doing all day, is just finding little gems like this.
This car did come from Mexico. I don't know.
They don't have the resources that we have here at the Rad Factory.
Yeah, they don't have the Rad Factory resources. Does it still turn on after all the wiring I've done?
Give him credit, like, it functioned. Barely, but it did function. Now, hopefully it'll function better.
It wasn't gonna function long the way that we treat things, but it did. This last like foot of wire is really all that I've got left. I'm gonna clean up those junctions, and then the wiring harness is complete. Big deal right there. I thought that was going to be way crappier than it was. It took a long time, but it looks good. Now we have the next huge thing to deal with. We have to find a way to stop this thing. Word on the street is we have some parts that have arrived, so let's take a look at those.
Doing some Googling, I learned that a lot of this is based on VW bug parts. So we have a new VW bug brake master cylinder.
It's still not going to be exactly right. We are replacing the 2-cylinder setup with the single because basically there's no room for 2 down here.
So then this guy, I'm assuming, can sit up there, and then we have our 2 lines right there, and we're off to the races, literally.
This is just to make sure we can stop. We will figure out the proportioning at a later time.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah,
that's
we're not
actually
gonna be able to.
relatively critical.
I do have a completely new pedal box coming, but it will not be here in time for this video. And that will include the dual master cylinder for the brakes and that whole setup.
Something about like that.
The old brake master cylinders are out, and the hole isn't quite the right size for the new one, but it's almost there.
We're closing in on it. So I think we do something like that. Whew, that paint is toxic.
So we're converting it from a dual master cylinder to a single. So this is our little adapter bar.
Pretty simple. Not everything has to be hard. Just most things. All we did was make this little plate so that instead of having 2, it's got 1 right there in the middle. That little post just goes in through the end of your slave cylinder. And I guess this is the master cylinder die. So now all we have to do is final bolt this cylinder in, bleed the brakes, and we're there. That is a brake.
Got all of our lines hooked up. Now we will take our reservoir and mount it right there.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, that's a brake setup.
Sweet. You know what time it is. Time to see if we can make a mess.
We got the Harbor Freight brake bleeder. I'll see if this makes it any easier.
A lot of bubbles.
We vacuum it up to about 10 psi or whatever this
You ready?
hectograms.
That's exactly what we want. Getting all that nasty old crap out of there.
We spent the entire day trying to bleed the brakes. We got the front, the rears just wouldn't do it, and it turns out there was a reason.
This is the reason.
So this hard line is the rear, and there must be a cut right about here, and that fluid leaked into there and into there.
That is wild. I bet we probably had like a full inch of brake fluid in this
Right, most
tube.
of this can was just in the chassis of the vehicle.
At least now we know our problem, and we'll be able to have brakes soon.
3 hours ago, we both were like, there's no way it could be the hard line broke.
Because there would be a puddle of fluid. It turns out there was a puddle of fluid. It was just in the car.
In the last video when we were trying to get the car to run, this timing belt window was pretty useful. That way we knew it wasn't broken.
That's not going to help us long term, so we have a new valve cover we're going to throw on there.
I gotta say, that looks way better.
This looks way better.
Look at that, the final touch.
Final touch.
While that probably wasn't 100% necessary, I think it was a great call. That looks good, dude.
We've got a busy shop. We have Jaden working on the fiberglass repairs.
Fiberglass is a lot harder to work with. It's a lot stronger. So I had to step down to 80 grit, but it's working. So we're getting somewhere.
Cool. There's a lot of these like little cracks and beat up spots all around.
We'll go through and fiberglass over all of these, and then Bondo, and then paint.
What do you got going on?
I'm gonna fix this stupid spoiler because it's trash, not my work. I've got to weld up a new piece of metal on the inside for us to actually bolt into. I'm just gonna use a riv nut, and that way everything bolts in nice and clean. Precision work being done here. I've got my cardboard template. I transfer this to some tin, weld that bad boy on there, and then we have a whole new reasonably solid thing that we can bolt the edge of our wing to. As you can see, there's a bunch of new metal supporting this wing. That's not necessarily just because it looks cool and it makes it seem like it's stronger. I didn't love that our original wing mounted just to the end of this transmission, which literally wasn't bolted to anything. Like, there were no transmission mounts back here. So if this wing does anything at all, it was just flexing the transmission. So now it's actually applying downforce to the frame of the car.
I'll be very curious if this basically tinfoil provides any downforce whatsoever.
But it looks really cool and legit, so that's what matters.
This car is all about the looks for sure. Almost done, but I do have to fix one final problem. Our gear shifter was actually hitting on our wing right here. This was banging into that. So I'm just gonna make that a little bit steeper of an angle, which at the end of the day is gonna make this stronger anyways. And then this rear wing is ready to reassemble. So now when this thing's back on, we won't have any issues with clearance, and hopefully that'll help us get into first gear, because right now it sucks. It's like no problem.
No way. That's sick.
It's literally 100 times better. Ooh, and reverse is right there. Yeah, dude.
Game changer.
That's huge. I was
Nice.
debating on even doing that, and I'm so glad I did. We got a couple things we can go cross off that list.
Ooh.
Say bye-bye. Bye-bye, boy. Ooh, this is like half done, because we need to do the CV. Yeah, pretty soon we'll be done with brakes. We're making some actual progress right now, and I'm stoked on that.
This side is still a little rough, but we'll get there.
My job is going to be replacing this brake hard line that we discovered was ruined last night. So we have some new hard line and a flaring tool, and it shouldn't be a problem.
Got the brake line pulled out of the frame, and here's our problem. It's completely broken, and that's why we had no rear brakes. So we'll get the new line shoved through the frame and be good to go.
After 2 solid days, we have brakes. That was one of the more intense brake projects we've ever had to deal with. Probably 4 hours of bleeding total, but we got it.
I think you've earned this one.
This was a hard-earned victory, but the brakes are fixed.
That's a big one to cross off.
That's a big one. We've got a special delivery from 99 Wraps. These are our decals. Let's test fit them real quick.
There we go.
That gives you guys a hint of the livery we're going with, coming very soon. Gavin took care of the rear wing end plates. Now I have to take care of the front wing end plate.
That is pretty bad. So we're just going to use his technique and throw some riv nuts in there. I got the riv nuts in and the plates are secure, but I pulled them off so we can sand everything down and get it ready for primer.
Thanks to Jaden, we have everything prepped and ready for primer. This thing is finally about to start its transformation. I am so excited. It's gonna look so good.
We've got the high build primer, Harbor Freight gun.
And we should be good to go.
Oh, it's still pretty gloppy.
Primer is set and looking dialed, so now we'll go ahead and sand it down before we paint it. This thing is already looking transformed with just the gray, but I cannot wait to get the full livery on there.
She's not perfect, but a million times better than it was. After
hours and hours of bodywork and sanding, it's still pretty terrible. but it's as good as it's gonna get. This thing is a wild race car that doesn't need to be perfect, so it is time to paint it. Went back and forth a lot on what paint to use for this thing, so I'm sure you guys will have your opinions, but what we decided on is gel coat, like for a fiberglass boat.
The stuff is so thin and flexible, we thought regular car paint might just crack.
And with it being a little bit thicker paint, we're hoping it fills in some of those spider cracks a little better. We'll see, hopefully it works. I did get a 2.5 millimeter tipped gun for the thicker paint.
This is some very thick paint. I hope it will spray.
Test sprays worked all right. Here goes nothing. We've got the paint drying on the body and it is looking really good. The gel coat came out awesome. It's a little bit textured, but we'll get it sanded down and polished up, looking really nice.
This front of the car is exposed, so we painted that as well. John's helping me get the transmission cleaned up, then we'll mask it off and paint this part of the frame.
We masked off the entire transmission and then I realized it looks terrible and is also exposed, so we might as well paint that also.
I burnt through the exhaust yesterday and now Gavin's fixing it, so.
The fix-it guy.
In all fairness, I don't think this was your fault. I saw what came out of this exhaust. It had no shot of being saved. That's why I cut this little patch. Should be a couple more minutes. Weld it, grind it, and it'll be better than this.
It looks pretty decent.
It's like a Christmas present. It's finally done, painted. We get to see what it's actually gonna look like. It looks pretty dialed. I'm glad we painted this rear end. That looks so good. Only a matter of time before this thing has a full livery and it looks as dialed as it can be. Gleaming. It's so bright that it hurts my eyes. It looks good though.
Sick, dude. Oh my god, yeah, that's a lot.
A little more polishing, a little more wrap, some stickers, and this thing is gonna be perfect.
Also, we still have to fully reassemble the rear end.
Just minor details.
The amount of work that has gone down on this body and that car in a very small amount of time is remarkable.
We got some Zybar exhaust coating. They claim it adds horsepower. We'll see about that. It should make the exhaust look pretty cool though.
There's a lot of crazy stuff on this channel. Claiming that painting your exhaust is gonna add horsepower. Top thing we've said in terms of insanity.
Apparently they have dyno tested that it does add horsepower. We won't be doing that, but that's for you guys to research. The bronze color.
Ooh, fancy.
Mika got our stir sticks, so there's not a lot left of them.
Big moment. Exhaust is going on.
How's the dryness level on that thing?
Dry.
Great. Yeah,
Really?
it dried so fast.
They said they wanted 5 days for drying.
Well, I
We
bet
gave it about 5 minutes.
it's probably just not fully cured, but you can also probably flash bake it by turning the car on.
Yeah, but that's exactly what we'll do. On the last video, there were a lot of comments on the safety of the steering wheel not being able to come out, so we did get a new quick release. Gavin got it on here and it's dialed. That's like ridiculously easy. Nice. We haven't figured out the seat situation yet. It's pretty tight, but I do think it'll work as long as we don't bolt it to where it was intended to be bolted. This is where it's supposed to mount, but there's no way that's gonna fit. So just have to figure that out. That'll be Gavin's problem. That's the
What
future
did I
Gavin.
just hear?
That's a future Gavin problem. I'm Ayrton Senna.
How dare you?
I'm Ayrton Senna's 10th cousin on his mom's aunt's side.
Yeah, that's what it is. There we go.
I'll be honest, guys, I've never wrapped anything ever. We're gonna start small with just the wing end plate. I did get the wrapping gloves so you can smooth it out. Whew, that's intense. I want it to be good. The satisfying shot. Ooh. That is gorgeous.
It is. It looks painted.
For my first ever wrapping, I'm pretty proud of that. I'll take it.
Oh no.
You absolute.
No. Oh. Do you think we can sneak it through?
You got lucky. Rather be lucky than good. I wasn't worried.
Very important detail, our Rad Factory stickers. Thanks to 99 Wraps for printing these out.
Look at
That's
that.
gonna be good. You happy?
I'm happy.
I'm happy.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm happy, but I think our sticker's in the right one.
Dude, this is so cool. I'm so hyped. Typed in Marlboro font and this came up and it looks so legit. I am very pumped on it. Dude, that is satisfying.
Look at that. That actually does look pretty official.
Is that the Marble Factory?
Yeah, dude. That's because everything we make smokes. And it's bad for your health.
Oh, dude, even just sitting there, it looks so good. Dylan, this might be your best idea yet.
I'm pretty proud of this, to be honest. Like, this transformation in less than 2 weeks is pretty incredible.
Pull it up all the way till you hit my finger. Who would have thought that this would somehow be difficult? We'll just kind of do a couple strokes across the face of it. It's pretty slick. I'll be honest, these straight pieces were kind of a headache. And everything left is going to be really, really hard, I think.
I debated a lot on paint versus wrap and trying to find the exact McLaren paint code. Doesn't exist, so we went with the bright red wrap, and it actually, I'm very hyped on it. It's gonna look really, really good.
You know what else is going to look really good? The white body is finally ready to go on this thing.
You guys, this is a huge moment. We are 98% there. Unfortunately, the last 2% is the hardest part, getting the wrap folded around that body properly, but we practiced. I think we got it.
Free as the wind. Birds in the sky. Cars on a racetrack.
We already are cracking our paint because the fiberglass is just so flexy.
We've had issues. Let's make sure before we go through all the headache of basically permanently attaching this, we gotta turn this on.
All right. Please, please work. Our battery must be dead. Ah, that's about right. We were gonna put some leads to be able to jump the battery, but we didn't do that.
I might be able to, since it's on the jack stands, get to it from the bottom.
We got the battery jump box attached through the little hole, and Gavin's underneath.
All right. Huh. There you go. All right.
Woohoo! we didn't do all that for nothing.
We do have to figure out how to start this thing when it's on the ground. At least an inch back here.
Yeah. I'm a little less than an inch.
I think that's why this had a cutout.
We spent a lot of time redoing the fiberglass because there was a big chunk taken out of it here. Turns out it was an important chunk because the shock is there. So hopefully just kind of re-Dremel this out. If you guys like what we do here and want to help support, please check out theradfactory.com. We have a bunch of awesome merch. We're adding new designs all the time, like this F1 adjacent shirt. Every dime we make goes right back into the channel so we can do more crazy things. Maybe like add some paddle tires to my F1 car. If you guys want us to make that happen, check out theradfactory.com.
Hey Dylan, what you doing over there with a straight edge on a round car?
We're trying to figure out this livery and just measuring and stuff.
Pulling the square off of the least square shape that has ever existed.
Well, it's not, I'm not pulling the square. I want the 90 for the...
Oh, okay, that actually makes a lot of sense.
It's
See,
hard
here
to
I
find-
was questioning your methods. What was I doing?
The body is so crooked that this does not look right. We'll mock it up with the blue tape first. Then we do have knife tape.
So that's where it's gonna get weird.
It's where it gets weird. Huh.
Yeah. if you can, just kind of pull it tight. There you go. Use this as my visual straight edge. I've done this in the past with some success. It looks pretty straight. Like, as crazy as it sounds, the method works a little bit. It's definitely not at a 90, which is going to make things a bit funky. So we don't have a lot of great options, so we're going with this option, which is 33 and 3/8.
Because who would have thought our homemade fiberglass body isn't square, so we can't pull measurements off of it.
That's pretty close.
Seems way mellower than this.
Does that help? To me, that's way off center, because our center is like right there. So if that's our center line.
Yeah, because we took measurements off of this, but this is not square at all.
Yeah,
you can see it right here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more eye than.
I think you're probably right. It's also crazy because they're two totally different shapes too. Like that has, oh, ow. That has like the bump and this doesn't.
It's not a mirror image, so it's never going to be perfect.
And if it weren't for that, this would for sure end up being perfect. Yeah, I like that angle. Like, I think that's what we want to get right. I changed my mind for the 18th time. I think that looks pretty good.
All right, let's go for it.
We are about to be in it. I'll tell you that much.
So we got the knife tape. We'll lay this down along our blue tape line. Then we'll wrap our red on there, and then we'll pull the knife tape that will cut our vinyl perfectly in the shape that we want. And it will definitely work perfectly first try.
I have so much faith in us. Oh my God, dude, we're so boned. Right now I'm having a stroke. Make a seam right there rather than try and somehow wrap this. Like, there's no way. We struggled with 3 people to do this straight line. The concept of somehow wrapping all of that, it's up to you, but it feels very daunting to me. And we're probably gonna struggle with it.
I think we have plenty of wrap. I think we should try it.
All right, just absolute shenanigans.
It's gonna work. Definitely gonna work.
You could hear a mouse fart in this shop right now. It is so tense. No one is having a good time.
I'm having fun. We're wrapping our first car, and it's the sickest wrap on the sickest car we could possibly do it, and we're doing a good job.
Some of those were hopes, and some of those were facts. So much nervous laughter out of me. This is so stressful.
Look at that!
Our first wrap job ever, and it's actually half decent. I'm very pumped.
It's honestly really decent considering this is the worst shape possible.
The red pops so good. It's beautiful.
It really is. We've done something remarkable. And as long as this works on the other side, we should be okay. Who's excited to do that again?
Yeah, can't wait.
The second side did not go as well. We just couldn't get it into that little concave area like we hoped.
And then our razor tape's not working, so we have to cut it by hand anyway.
Yep. I will say it sort of helps having the razor tape.
Next time we will just be painting. For some reason I thought this would be easier and better, and I was very, very wrong.
Here's our overlap line. We had a huge extra bit right here.
Fortunately, this thing's gonna go like 120 miles an hour all the time, and so no one will be able to tell what a terrible job we did.
Dude, we did something pretty sick.
It's so rad, dude.
She's coming together. All we gotta do is wrap the front and then throw on the rest of our decals, and then we can go for a rip.
I'm excited. It has come so far. It's cool to be able to say we probably couldn't have done anything more in terms of making this thing super nice in the time frame that we have.
Our lines are prepped for the final piece of the livery puzzle. Luckily, this one we can do in many pieces, so I don't think it'll be too hard. There's a lot of stuff in the way as far as suspension, but I think we'll be all right.
I mean, yesterday was pretty rock bottom, so I think we all expect today to be a little better.
And we get to test drive the car after this. Like, we are hopefully less than a couple hours away from the first drive with brakes, with it looking good. It's gonna be a good day, boys.
We have a very technical bucket on top of the patio furniture for our wrap table.
Yeah.
This is what the pros use. We've learned from the best.
But you guys, this is the final piece of the wrap, and then we can reveal the livery.
Put this on, a couple Rad Factory stickers, and we're there.
We're there.
And the sun came back out, so we're gonna stop talking and we're gonna get wrapping so that we can get ripping.
Before we can reveal the livery, you guys have to subscribe. Like 90% of you are not subscribed, so do me a favor and just smash that subscribe button. The livery is finished and the car looks awesome, but it won't stay running, which is very Rad Factory move.
I mean, everything looks fine. We've tested this a bunch of times. The only new thing is we put the original battery back in. The battery's just forced. That seems like a battery problem.
Switch to the battery?
That would probably have to be our best bet, yeah, which is not nothing, because we have to fully undo all the fuel filler hose and shit that we just filled up.
All right, we got the battery swapped out. We also fixed a vacuum leak in the PCV area.
Hopefully one of those was our issue, and we'll be test driving in a second. Did we fix it? Let's go. Oh no. No, it's not even starting.
It's gotta be this stupid freaking key thing again, I bet. Now try.
Nice. We got a runner though. All right, let's assemble it for the final time and get in the streets. You guys, we did it. After 2 weeks of insane work, we have one of the coolest fake F1 cars of all time.
It's a legitimate F1 car. The F stands for fake.
Yeah.
As an absolute pile of trash. And now it's a white and red pile of trash.
That at least has brakes so we can drive it around.
Solid freaking work.
Took
Let's
a
get
lot
a
of
proper
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, bang.
Bang.
There it is.
Also, huge shout out to John. He was a huge help. He just couldn't be here today, unfortunately.
Sucks to suck, dude. The rest
Yeah.
of us are delinquents. What's your problem? It looks good parked.
Let's see if it drives.
Doing good? Let's go home.
I don't think we have brakes still hardly. They do something, but not fully. It has no power at all right now. I don't know if it's because it's not warmed up or the engine is a piece of junk, but no power at all.
And there's a shocking amount of smoke coming out of these rear hubs.
Yeah, that could be it too. They could be too tight.
Yeah, I could try loosening it up just a little bit. Do I look like a race car driver, Dylan?
You look like a race car driver.
No blinkers is a bit of a problem.
The brakes are still bad.
It's so awkward.
The no power is a huge bummer. I don't know what we did different between the first test drive 2 weeks ago and today, but it drives awful. So on that bombshell, thank you guys for watching.
It's only a bombshell if they didn't see it coming.
On that shocking development, it is time to end. Thank you guys for watching. Stay rad.